Hey guys, I am so ready for summer right now. It is such a weird state right now in California of just being kind of chill, but it's like almost June, so it's attempting to be hot but not really getting there. It's giving us the sun, it is, but the second you go to the beach, it's freezing. So I thought I'd at least get into a summer state when it comes to books, and here are my hot girl summer book takes. The first group is very common. It's the I'm depressed, I'm not okay, I'm done, but I'm a hot girl book era. And we obviously have to have a Sally Rooney, but I thought, why not two Sally Rooneys, right? So first we have Normal People, which is the icon when it comes to this type of book. I think everyone's already heard of it to this point, but I just love it so much that I had to add it anyway. It's so perfectly just like the I'm so done with this, let me read this and just feel myself while I'm like at the beach or sitting in a cafe, which is like supposedly a happy thing, but then you're reading a little sad girl book. This is about Connell and Marianne, and it's just literally about them having constant miscommunication, and I absolutely love it, and I'm definitely rereading it for hot girl summer. Our next Sally Rooney is no other than Conversation with Friends. It's about two girls, Bobby and Frances, and they're best friends. They're a little bit in the literary world, and they meet these two people. I believe they're agents. A journalist, and then her husband. And they meet them, and these people are definitely... Is that annoying? The journalist and her husband are quite a few years older than them, I believe like a decade, maybe more older, and they just get into a kind of relationship with them, and it's all about that. And Frances is literally the epitome of a sad, depressed girl who's just constantly talking about her feelings. It makes you feel better than everyone just by reading this. The next two books I would definitely still have in this little genre, but I would add in the aspect of mystery, of crime, and in this case, of a thriller. So this is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It's a thriller about, first off, she's chunky. It's a thriller about this girl with a dragon tattoo and how she's helping out this guy who's trying to solve a mystery of a disappeared girl. What happened to her? Is she dead? What's the story behind it? It is so good. I'm a big baby, like I'm terrified of stuff like this, but this book is literally amazing and you really need to give it a read. It's so good, but it's not like scary, like you can read it even if you're scared of everything like me. So I'd go for it, but you can tell it was written by a man. Then we have The Death on the Nile. I love this book. It's an Agatha Christie. She is so good. To be frank, I've only read this book by her, but it is literally amazing. There's two people sitting right in front of me eating food, but I'm just gonna continue anyway. So there's this girl, Jackie, and she is just such a girl boss, such a I want everything and I will get anything and take any means to do so. It is so good. It is so good. She is everything, and I think everyone needs to read this. I listened to the audiobook. It was like 6 hours long, super short, super good. The voice is amazing, and I need to read more of Agatha Christie's Poirot works. The next little subsection is the beachiest reads. So first we have the brand new Emily Henry book, Book Lovers. It's so good. Okay, I'm not a big romance girl, but I genuinely really liked it. I gave it like 4.5 stars. Like, I never rate romance books good. I'll read them if I have a lot of work going on and just my life's kind of in shambles and I need to like have something easy that I can just like read quickly and still feel like I'm actually like reading, you know? It's about this girl who's a shark, a badass, if you will. She knows what she wants and she'll never let anything else get in her way. And she just cares about her sister. And so her sister is like, hey, why don't we go to this town? I think it's called like Sunshine Falls, something like that. How do I say this? Okay, so the author of the book that has a setting in Sunshine Falls has a book editor, and that book editor is Nora. And sister is like obsessed with the book, and so she's like, we should go down to Sunshine Falls, and in Sunshine Falls she meets Charlie, and so Charlie and her are like have never really gotten along. They met once a few years ago, and he was actually given the opportunity to work on the book that was set in Sunshine Falls, and he was like, I don't like it. I love their characters, which never really happens in romance, I always find something wrong, and they did not have miscommunication. Miscommunication is the most annoying thing you can give me in a romance. I get it in normal people, I completely do, because it's not like a romance, okay? It is a piece of literary fiction with a subplot of romance. Romance books that their entire third act conflict is a really stupid piece of just miscommunication completely irks me, and that is not book lovers. This is so a book that you just want to read on the beach, have a nice cute time, and finish it in one day. It's amazing. I think everyone should give it a read, even if you don't like romance, because I don't. So the next beachy read is Call Me By Your Name. This is set in 1980s Italy in the summer, and it is so cute. It's a romance between Elio and Oliver. It's so near and dear to my heart. I love this book so much. I love the movie. It's so good. So Elio, his father is a professor, and every year he brings in a student who's working on their doctorate or their master's or something, but they're doing a thesis, and they come over the summer and like help him out with like archaeology research and stuff, and they like learn from the professor. And so a little romance emerges from them, and it's so cute and so heartbreaking. If you watch the movie, you should still read this because it gives you a lot more background info, and the end of the movie is like, I don't know, like there's still a good chunk of the book left after like the movie bit ends, because that's like not the end of the story at all. I think the book is really cute and really sweet and just such a good little summer read, and I also want to reread this summer along with normal people. I'm gonna have a little stack of my rereads. Next we have a little existentialist book where nothing really happens, and that is The Stranger by Albert Camus. I loved this book. It was really good. It's like 120 pages, maybe 200, but I doubt it. It's really good. It's really short and easy to read. It could be deemed boring, but like if you like really read into it and you're like, okay, existentialism, loving it, king, it's really good. And I think it's a good summer read because you're just kind of sitting there doing nothing and low-key feeling doomed, which I prefer in the summer, because if you're feeling doomed in the winter, in the fall, in the spring, you're gonna keep feeling that for a while. Like, it's not gonna end. In the summer, at least you're like, okay, I'm on a beach, or I'm in a park, and I'm having a good time, so I can feel doomed for a moment, because it's not gonna continue. I love existentialism. It's so good. His books are so good, and I would give it a read. My next little section is called She's Not in the Kitchen. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, and our first read is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. So like summer reads are typically like romance, and this is a romance, but definitely different. First of all, it's, you know, Regency era, it's a classic, it's old, the language is slightly outdated, and when I like went into this book, I completely expected myself to like not really understand what the heck was happening because of the word, but that's just not the case. It is so easy to read. Jane Austen's writing is very witty, very good, very easy to understand, and it's absolutely amazing. And so she's not in the kitchen because she is not taking shit from anyone. Literally, her love interest comes up to her and is like, I want you, but like, you're beneath me because he's super rich and she's not, and she's like, I'm not taking this, like this makes no sense, you're always awful to me, da 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 da. She is not gonna be placed anywhere. She's doing her own thing, she's traveling, she's having a great time for herself. And I think we need some individuality. We need a little bit of like power to the women moment over the summer, and so we have Pride and Prejudice. Thank you, Jane Austen. The book after that I have is Frankenstein, which is on a bit of a different note. I'm saying this more because the author is Mary Shelley, and so if you don't know, this book was made because Mary Shelley, her husband, and one of their friends were on vacation, and they were like, hey, like, let's play a game, let's try to see who can write the best little scary novel. She actually ended up publishing it afterwards, and it became the mega classic that it is, Frankenstein. And I haven't read this yet, but I just love it because it's also girl-bossing the fact that we have a monster, but he's not the monster. The monster is actually the scientist, Frankenstein. I don't know, I love that. The monster of Frankenstein is not going to be put down in its place, and neither is Mary Shelley. And so we have this, plus beach, right? I mean, sure, it's like stormy and gray, but beach. And I got this for like $2. Yeah, so why not? Next, we have a little bit of a red flag moment. The Catcher in the Rye. Okay, I think we're gonna reclaim this from the men. If you're a man reading this, it's a red flag. If you're a woman reading this in the summer, you're just better than everyone, and that's not a problem. That's not a red flag. That's just how it is. This, once again, like The Stranger, is just a dude doing absolutely nothing. But he's a teenager this time. It's like such a funky book, but I think it's like fun regardless, and it's set in New York, so like, let's have a good time. I always go back and forth with this book. Like, there's so many parts that I hated, but I still really enjoyed the book, and nothing really happened, but like in a good way. Give it a read. He's such an interesting character. I think his name is like, I forgot his name, but it's great. The next book is not a red flag in and of itself, but there's a little red flag moment in it. We have Julius Caesar. I mean, I think everyone kind of knows what happens in Julius Caesar, the infamous line of "Et tu, Brute," which is like, "And you, Brutus," like, I can't believe that you did that. There's just a little bit of backstabbing, of red flaggery going on in here, and I love it. And so it's about Julius Caesar, one of the Caesars. He has to make some decisions, and obviously no one's always going to go up with you, especially in politics. There's a lot of backstabbing and constant like little frets and battles, and I really adore this book, and I love pretty much all Shakespeare that I've read, so yeah. See, this is the problem with nature and filming, is that there's just like so many sounds, and you know, some of them currently are not nature, like the nice little helicopters, but we're gonna yay anyway, because the last section is memoirs, and I am obsessed with memoirs. Memoirs are so good. You know, to be a hot girl, we need to do some little education and have a nonfiction down our sleeve. So first we have Bluet by Maggie Nelson. First of all, this cover, it's 99 pages, and it's just the cutest little thing in the world. And so Bluet's is an essay collection and a memoir on Maggie Nelson's life. I love essay collections that are placed like this. They're so fun. As you can see, I annotated a lot in this book because it's just really, really, really good. Her life encountering the color blue. She talks to other people, she takes snippets of her life, of things that she's seen, and they're all relating to the color blue, whether that's like emotion or actual color or all kinds of things, and it's really, really good. I really liked it. I definitely think as an essay collection on the color blue, it can be a very pretentious thing and very like just strange to grasp, so if it's not for you, it's not for you, but it is a very, very hot girl book, I'd say. And like this on the beach, yes, yeah, that's it. The last book we have is The Children of Williston Lane. I'm currently reading this. It's so heart-wrenching. So it's a book about the Kindertransport, and so the Kindertransport was this thing during the Nazi regime era where countries who obviously were like not here for the Nazi regime were trying to get their Jewish kids out of the country to safer places like England. And so it's about this girl, Lena, and she's being transported to England, and it's about her life and how like, and she even talks about how it was like before she left, just with everyone going through her town and the Nazis and how it infected her family, and she was separated from her family. She was the only one of her sisters that ended up being able to go on the kinder transport because one of her sisters had already turned 18, so she was too old, and one of them was too young, and they only had one spot left on the train, and so her parents decided that it was for her. And I mean, that's like a lot of guilt to hold, like you being the only one that's allowed to leave. It's so heart-wrenching. I feel like it's really important to read, especially like as this gets farther and farther into history. We shouldn't forget this, and there's still so much prejudice in this world towards so many people: Jews, African Americans, Mexicans, like everyone, Asian Americans. It's like terrifying, and I think that we like shouldn't forget that and should keep hearing the actual stories of people in this era and how it hurt them. And this was written by, I believe, her daughter. I think that we should still stay informed, no matter if we just want to have like a happy light summer. There are real things going on and real things that have happened, and we shouldn't forget that. So, way to leave on a sour, sad note. But anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. These are all amazing books, and I think that you should totally read them. They're so fun, so great. Okay, maybe not all of them are fun, but great. And I think that's what we need for a nice hot girl summer, because hot girls read. I'll see you guys next week, which I'm doing my May wrap up, which is gonna be a really short video because this month was a lot of work, but I'll see you guys in it anyway. Bye bye.